If you want to see me swatch the Rose Decadence 6-pan palette by Pat McGrath, then stick around. Hi there, it's Hélène and welcome back, or if it's your first time, welcome to HMM Makeup or Makeup. I am doing a little bit of a swatching fest again today. I did do the Celestial Divinity palette the previous video, and now I'm just going to do a very quick 6-pan swatch. If you're curious what is on my eyes, you can always see it in the description box, or there's a link to another video where you can see it. And this is an ABH palette, specifically the Norvina Volume 1, the purple, the big purple one. But we are going to play with this one, and this is the 6-pan that I'm going to be playing with. And let's just take a look here for a second. I just told you what pans of eyeshadow I was focusing on for this look, right? The Norvina Volume 1. I could have done this exact look with these shadows. It's quite the coincidence, in my opinion. And yeah, I'm not mad at that. I think the only two that wouldn't have applied today are these two, but these are very reminiscent of what it is that I used for this look. So I don't know, is it Pat McGrath that has good taste or me? Maybe it's a tie. Okay, I'm going to use these fingers to swatch, and I'm going to do 3 and 3. So we'll do this top row and then this bottom row. And of course, if you want to see the swatches for the Celestial Divinity, I will put that video right there for you. And let's get to swatching. So I've got 1 matte and 2 shimmers here in the top row. And I'm not going to bother with the names. I will put the names on the screen for you. Okay, so here are the 3. Okay, this one looks like very much like one of the Celestial Divinity shadows that I just swatched in the previous video. Oh, got some on my nail here. Here's the first one. And the second one. I've got my dog that is coming for a visit. The dog is Silhouette is her name. And here we have the third one. It feels very reminiscent of what is in the Celestial Divinity. We'll have to compare at the end. So that is the first set of swatches, the first go. So I'm going to re-swatch. I like to double swatch all of my swatches because we often build up a color on our eyes. It's not a one swipe and we're done. And here we go again. So there's the first one. Getting a lot on my nail. Second one. And third. I'll have to see if this is an exact duplicate of what is in the Celestial Divinity. Very, very pretty colors. Okay, so this one is Electron, and the one that I have from the Rose Decadence they are different. The top one is Fuchsia Flame, and then the bottom one is Electron. So this is Electron, and the one I'm stacking it with is Fuchsia Flame. So they are different. They are different. This one has more of a blue-purple, and the top one has more of a fuchsia, but it looks like the base color is somewhat similar. Okay, so that has helped just address my curiosity. I'm just wiping my fingers, and we're going to go for the other 3 colors in the Rose Decadence. Okay, so we did the 3 colors that look very much like what I used today, and we're down here, including a very beautiful matte. So let's swatch those 3. Purpley mattes are often gritty, and that one is, as far as I can see. And the last 2, which is more of a bronze and a gold, are just typical eyeshadows as far as I'm concerned. And let's take a look. That is a very pretty burgundy matte. should build up pretty well. And then that first of two shimmers on the bottom. That has some punch for sure. And then that more of a gold color. Gold, between gold and brass, I guess. Okay, so let me go and do a second swatch of that second row. This would do a very, very nice look for sure. Okay, so here is the second pickup of those three colors, and let's just see how they build. Oh yeah, look at that matte, effortless to build. These two don't really need it, but we're gonna do it anyway. There we go. So that is the Rose Decadence with the three, well, two sets of three shadows. Very pretty. Just going to wipe my fingers so I don't get shadow all over the place, and then I will stack the two palettes. So the first one was Celestial Divinity, which is 18 shadows, and we have just swatched the Rose Decadence. So here is the Celestial Divinity. I'm going to just stack Rose Decadence over top. Now I think that that second shadow right here, stacking it over the pink, somewhat similar to the pink in Celestial Divinity, but it's a little bit more on the salmon side. So that's something to note. Anything else? The burgundy matte in Celestial Divinity is not that different from the burgundy matte in Rose Decadence. This one is a little bit more on the purple side, the other one's a bit more on the dusty rose, but they're similar. I don't think they would look all that different on the eye. What else is there? We talked about this one already being more on the purpley blue compared to, so this is Electron from Celestial Divinity. We talked already about that one with the flaming fuchsia that's above it. By the way, this Corruption is in one of those Christmas palettes. And anything else? These are different. I think that's it. So we've got those two mattes that are similar to some other stuff in here. And yeah, I think that maybe a mix of these two might look similar to this one, right? Possibly. But that's about it. So there's really not very much overlap between the Rose Decadence and Celestial Divinity, which is good. And where there is overlap with the mattes, well, mattes you need anyway, and those are very universal mattes, like a light purple, a light pink, dusty rose. It makes sense to have in the palette anyway, so I wouldn't be annoyed with it, especially since Celestial Divinity has very few mattes compared to the shimmers, that you would want them in that palette anyway, and that would be the base use shadows in the Rose Decadence anyway as well. So I think that that's fine. So not very much overlap. I do really like the color story here. I think there's a lot to be said as a companion palette for the Celestial Divinity, which I did mention in the other video. I like both of them. I'm pretty happy with them. The only thing that's funny to me is I used another brand to do basically the same kind of a look. The only thing that this one doesn't have is maybe as purple as the purple that I'm using on my eyes, but it's darn similar, darn similar. So if you have the Norvina Volume 1, that purple palette, you may want to pass on the Rose Decadence because you have the ability to very much do the same kind of looks with this palette. So that is it for me with this Swatch Fest. Basically both videos, the previous one and the one that we are doing today with the Rose Decadence. I hope you found this video informative or at least entertaining. Let me know in the comments. I would love to hear. And with that, I will say thank you so much for watching. I appreciate it every single time. And I look forward to seeing you in the next video. But for now, take care.